Now, Scaife's lead until the next best is 276. So overall, Mark Scaife cannot be caught on championship points here at Eastern Creek, but they can certainly close the gap on him. Let's take a look at the grid now for race 1. Mark Scaife has pole position. Next to him is Marcus Ambrose. That'll be a hell of a fight. John Faulkner and Stephen Ellery on the second row of the grid. And that was Simon Wills just ducking down Scaife's left. So Simon Wills in the Cat car has ducked into the pits. He will have to start from pit lane. So we've got 31 starters now on the grid. The revs are starting to build. Take a look at the crowd. They're just waiting to see this incredible dogfight down the main straight into the sweeping left-hander between Scaife and Ambrose. It doesn't get any better. The leading Holden car versus the leading Ford car. Green light, and we're go now for race 1 at Eastern Creek. A pretty even start. John Faulkner tries to duck up in behind Mark Scaife, but Scaife gets the jump through to turn 1. Marcus Ambrose, it's clean for the first 5, 6. It's clean for the first 20 cars, and Scaife's there. Then you've got Ambrose. John Faulkner holds his position in 3rd.
Marcus Ambrose got a nice clean start there. Couldn't get the jump on Mark Scaife off pole position. Looks like a relatively clean start. Big field of cars here. 32, sweep round turn 2. Around the back section for the first time. Here comes Mark Scaife at the head of the pack. Dominated qualifying, 0.6 of a second faster than Marcus Ambrose. And John Faulkner has come out of nowhere at Eastern Creek this weekend. He's up in the top 3.
An amazing performance from John Faulkner. He's had a very ordinary start to the season, but he's talked about once you get the cash on board, you're good enough to get in there and have a real good scrap with these top-level teams. That's Max Wilson goes past, and Jason Barguana behind him. You've already heard about him. No doubt the success story already before he even got to the grid. And Mark Larkin brings around the rear of the field. So Scaife brings him through. Ambrose is there. Faulkner's still got his position. Ingle and Murphy have a bit of a fight going into that right-hander. It's single line stuff. Paul Radicic is tucked in behind Rick Kelly. Behind Radicic is Glenn Seaton.
Well, it's a 20-minute sprint race. This is like V8 Supercar racing was a couple of years ago. We had 3 20-minute sprints. And so often, see the cars forming this big, long train of cars. So we welcome to the commentary box 1987 World Motorcycle Champ Wayne Gardner. Wayne, I bet you wouldn't want to be joining us up here in the commentary box. You'd rather be out there running, but you were one of the victims of pre-qualifying yesterday.
That's right, Mark. It's depressing sitting up here with you. Not that I'm not mates with you, and not that you got BO or something, but I prefer to be out there in one of those race cars. You know, I'm a racer from a long time now, and you know, the Stone Brothers cars. I mean, as you can see, Ambrose's car's working extremely well, and Dave is just behind there as well. So, you know, the Stone Brothers team is working well, and I wish I was out there because the car's certainly competitive, and so am I. But unfortunately, we slipped up at the wrong time.
Well, Mark Scaife was the first across the line after lap 1. I'll just take you through the top 10. You've got Scaife, Ambrose, Faulkner, Greg Murphy in position 4. There's your PlayStation 2 race score. Ingle and Ellery in positions 5 and 6. The top 10 is Bernard, Tander, Richards, and Jason Bright in 10th position right behind him. The 00 Motorsport Ford Falcon of Craig Lowndes. So you're on board now with Russell Ingle. In front of him is Greg Murphy. Just take a look how dark it is inside the cockpit of the car. Of course, it's a lot better from our cameras because we've got the technology to make it nice and clear for you. They just before this race, a lot of these teams, just where you see the strips right on the top of the windscreen there, a lot of these teams actually had a couple of extra strips of tape. They took it off because the sun wasn't peeking through the clouds. A twilight race, they thought they were going to be staring straight into the sun, especially down this main straight. No sign of the sun, so they had to peel them off just before we got a race start. No changes in the race order from lap 1 through to lap 2. Scaife is still the quickest out there, a 1:32.243.
Last time we saw cars running here in dark conditions, Wayne Gardner, was back in 1996 on the short Eastern Creek circuit. You were racing in that one a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a long time ago, and I was racing then. But it's good fun, you know. As you can see then, some of the disc glow on a Murphy's car and the braking centre. And the nice thing about these night races is that, you know, you see the flames a lot more. You can see the disc glowing, and I think they should be doing more of this. And I think it's very entertaining, and particularly when the cars got their lights on, it looks spectacular.
We do, though, in a 20-minute format with no pit stops, tend to get this sort of follow the leader style race configuration. Do you think that the pit stops have been an improvement for V8 Supercars?
Well, yeah, we're entertainers here, and it's all about entertaining the people in the stands and obviously TV. And yes, I think pit stops is an added thing because it adds another element of the team. You know, not only you've got good cars and good drivers, you've also got to have good pit crews and efficient pit crews, obviously, to not lose time in the pit. So it adds another element, adds another part of the excitement. And I think it's great. It's a very good part of it.
Yeah. So Mark Scape continues to lead this one. Fastest man on the track so far, 1:32.24.
Poor old Max Wilson, he's been the big one to go backwards. He started in position number 8, but currently he is back in 22. And we'll just take a look here as you go through your race score. You can see on the right-hand side and the left, in fact, those little yellow boxes. That shows as how many positions they've either gone up or down. So David Bernard has gone up 2 positions. Stephen Richards gone back 1. Paul Radicic remains the same there in 16. That's exactly where he started. Now, at the back of the pack here, you will see Max Wilson's name. Look at that, 22nd. So he's gone down 14 positions. Started from position number 8, and he's going backwards all the time, Max Wilson, in the better electrical Ford Falcon.
Jason Bright back in the mid-pack here. Bright's in 10th place. Behind Stephen Richards. Hasn't had the good qualifying run that his teammate did. Now he's got to struggle for every position he can get.
Just spoke to the Briggs Motorsport crew. They tell me that Max Wilson simply had a bad start. They say there's nothing wrong with the car, but that's the reason why he's dropped so many positions.
Yeah, but he's very quick in qualifying, Max. But hasn't quite been able to put it together in the races yet, Wayne.
No, he's very quick on new tyres, and I guess, you know, it's where his IndyCar experience comes in, and he understands where all the grip is. But when these cars are very, very heavy, and when they start to obviously erode the tyres away, they become quite slippery. And I don't think he's quite got the used to the cars rolling around. And I'm a victim of that as well. You know, when I get in these things, it's like driving a taxi around here, and you know, compared to the cars that I race in Japan, which sit very flat on the road, for example, with Max has had with the IndyCar. So it's a bit of a battle, and I can understand, and I feel for him.
And a good Holden versus Ford battle going on right here as you take a look at Jason Bright and Craig Lowndes. Now, news from the course is that Scaife has been quickest through sectors 1 and 2, but Marcus Ambrose has the pace on the 3rd sector, the final sector of this track. So Scaife certainly has enough pace to hold him out, but Ambrose certainly has enough pace to close down on him. If it's anything like Phillip Island, we're in for one hell of a fight. Craig Lowndes has moved up to position 11, so he's made up 2 positions in 5 laps. Scaife is our leader, Ambrose is 2nd, and Faulkner remains in 3rd position in car number 46. You're looking at a battle between Bernard and Tander. And that's positions 7 and 8. Stephen Richards is behind them in 9th, and Jason Bright in 10th.
Got to behave themselves here, these guys, because effectively this is another 20-minute extension of qualifying. The finishing positions from this twilight race determine the positions for the first of the 150k longer races, so you really have to keep your nose clean. Here's some problems here for the Lansvale racing team. Cameron McConville did such a great job at Phillip Island. Now he's in pit lane. That's going to hurt their starting position for race 2.
Didn't he? Cameron McConville finished 4th in race 2 at Phillip Island, finished 6th overall, and he's now in 20th position overall on the championship. Here's Bernard with Garth Tander and the Valvoline Cummins Commodore right up his tail.
The fire there, you can see some of the brake material on fire inside the wheel.
Spoken to the team, they tell me the car has developed a sudden and very bad misfire. McConville now shutting it down. It could be over for race 1 for the Lansvale team.
Garth Tander run down the inside, brave stuff side by side, 200 kilometres an hour. Down the inside of David Bernard through turn 1, just pulls the nose of the Valvoline Cummins car back, and Bernard hangs on to 7th place. 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. Look at this, Jason Bright stuck in the queue. It just goes to show, Wayne Gardner, if you don't get a good start, it's very hard to make progress in this pack.
Well, this series is so competitive and very, very tight, and you're right. I mean, you make a mistake, if you make a bad start, you're back in the pack, and it's very, very hard to come through. And you can see them, they were trying to get through, and it's very, very difficult.
2 cars that are returning to competitiveness. In 2002, David Bernard and Garth Tander both had terrible seasons last year. A bit of a rethink has got them both starting to get more competitive. This is the battle group, Bernard in 7th, Tander in 8th, Richards in 9th. And you've been having a bit of a hand in the development of these Queensland-based Fords, Wayne.
Yes, I joined the team and had my first drive of the car at the end of last year in December. And when I first drove the car, I knew that something wasn't quite right, and we've had some pretty good test days, and we've made some pretty big changes, and they're improving a lot. And you know, David's starting to like the car a lot, and he had a lot of problems with it last year and wasn't competitive. And as you can see, he's getting stronger, and I still think there's more pace in the cars. And Marcus is doing very well at the front, but we've got to, you know, ultimately we're trying to catch Scaife and HRT, but we've got a bit more work to do. And I think that by mid-season, I think that you're going to see the Stone Brothers cars. My teammate here in the Caltex Haviland car, and obviously Ambrose. I think we can catch them. I think we can catch HRT and have a nibble on them by about mid-season.
The bonnet is still up on the Lansvale Smash Repairs Commodore. Cam McConville, what's happening?
Well, Rusty, it started running rough down the front straight on the second lap, and I just came in, it's just lost a heap of power, and it's now got oil pressure warning on the dash as well, so yeah, I thought it sounded terminal, it was getting slower and slower, so I came in.
Your home round in Sydney, it's a tough way to start.
Yeah, it is, but hey, we did it off the back of Phillip Island, so we'll give it a crack tomorrow or in race 2.
Thanks, Cam.
Just take a look at this fight for 10th position as Craig Lowndes breathes fire all over the back of Jason Bright's Holden Racing Team Commodore. The 00 Motorsport Ford Falcon with the green eyes has been all over the back of him. Sandwiched behind Lowndes is Todd Kelly, and John Bowers also part of that battle group. Lowndes has a look up the inside but thinks twice. Bright closes him out. That's through turn 10.
I wonder what's going on here with Jason Bright's car this weekend. He qualified 1.4 seconds slower than his teammate Scaife. Craig Lowndes has been sniffing around there. He finally gets him on the approach to turn 12. But that's an extraordinary gap between these two cars, Wayne Gardner. 1.4 seconds.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. There must be something wrong there with Bridie's car, because I mean, Lowndesy just passed him in a straight line, and that normally wouldn't happen. Yeah, there goes another two cars. So there's obviously
and John Bow.
Mechanical failure going on there.
He's really struggling out there. He's just trying to get as many points as he can, salvage as many points. As we said before, the finishing positions from this 20-minute sprint determine the starting positions for race 2. So it's very important for Jason Bright still to fight hard. Now there's smoke coming from the back of the car too. Looks like it's really starting to deteriorate.
It's one of the things, Wayne, that you pointed out just the other day when you were saying whether or not you're trying to let someone through or you've got mechanical problems. In this kind of competition, when you look around you, you'll see 6 or 7 people go straight past. Greg Rust in the pits.
I can tell you guys that Jason Bright has got a massive oil pressure problem of some kind in that car. There's an alarm going off on the Motec system, or the engine management system that they run on that car. His exact words to them on the radio a moment ago were, "Guys, it's falling to bits. What should I do?"
Oh, here's another car in pit lane. And car 600, that will be car 600. Simon Wills, he's been given the black flag. The brake lights have not been working on the Caterpillar Ford. And as a result, the officials consider that too dangerous. You've got to have the brake lights working particularly. Oh, there he is, Jason Bright. He hasn't made it back.
The end of Jason Bright, currently in position number 12. And it's been a pretty bad start for Jason Bright all round. He hasn't had much luck. Copped a couple of penalties at Phillip Island, which ruined his weekend. He managed to finish 5th overall, but he's 10th overall in the championship. His teammate, as per usual, takes it through on lap 10, around turn 2, out in front.
Jeff Grech has had a word to Mark Scaife out there at the moment. They are concerned that Jason Bright's car may have leaked some oil. They're not sure, but that may have leaked some oil onto the circuit. They're saying to Mark, be careful around that car.
Well, Mark Scaife looking stronger and stronger. Jason Bright was hoping to challenge his teammate for the championship. He figured the battle for the points was pretty much over after Phillip Island. Well, I'm sure he'd be even more downcast now. 170 points coming into this round, 10th in the overall championship standings. Now another DNF. That's really going to hurt. On board with Marcus Ambrose running in 2nd place. You say the improvement in the Stone Brothers Fords, Wayne Gardner, but they still need to find there's something missing there.
Yep, I agree totally. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
But look, you know, I think, as I mentioned earlier, I think that by mid-season, I think we should be able to bridge the gap. I'm pretty confident of it. And but the cars have settled down a lot. They're a lot easier to drive, and it seems to be helping in setup as well. And I think that, we still haven't cracked it just yet, but we're getting very, very close. I mean, the gap between Marcus and Scafie is a little bit, and always has been a little bit, but we're trying to catch, and this is probably going to end in tears, these two here. Tanner and my teammate, but I hope David can hold him off. He's doing a good job, and he's improved a lot this year now. The car's easier to drive, and that's what it's all about.
He's getting a bit of a cue behind him too. Look at this. Craig Lowndes getting up behind Stephen Richards. Just a look down the inside of turn 1. So David Bernard getting the encouragement from Campbell Little, the team technician. 2 more to go, mate, 2 more. Very important to try and hold this battle group behind him. Bernard, Tander, Richards and Lowndes. You can see they're fighting outside the back of the top 10. David Bernard's just got 2 more laps to hold him in. He's got the headlights on, Garth Tander. Maximum intimidation here.
He's trying to frighten him out of it and obviously distract him. But, David, he's a good driver. I think he's very fast, and in testing he's been very quick. And most times he's been quicker than Marcus, but he hasn't been felt comfortable in the car. You can see the tyres are moving around a lot now, and the cars are getting loose, and this is when it gets interesting, particularly the last couple of laps.
We saw a great battle between these two on the streets of Adelaide. That second race was just thrilling stuff. 250 kilometres distance. The drivers and the cars and everything were just completely worn out, and they were driving the wheels off them. Richo defending hard from every attack possible from Craig Lowndes. And now we've got the situation once again here over a much shorter distance though. Spectacular
stuff, isn't it? Around through turn 10 they go. Down this back straight. There's your PlayStation 2 race score. Mark Scaife, Marcus Ambrose and John Faulkner haven't moved as far as their starting positions go, but Greg Murphy's moved up 1 into 4th position overall. David Bernard still holding on to position number 7, and Garth Tander doesn't want to let go of number 8 either. Behind them is Richards and Lowndes. Look at this down the main straight. Tander intimidating stuff into this scary left-hander. Tander takes it on the outside. He won't get Bernard around here.
The grandstand crowd are standing. They can't believe this. What a great battle. Garth Tander so close to the back of the Havilland Ford. He goes deep under brakes into turn 2. Bernard's well positioned on the inside. He's not going to get an opportunity there, but look how close he gets to the back of the Ford on the way out.
Tander's looking everywhere, but he just can't quite find a hole at the moment. But, I think David's doing a great job. It's his priority to hold the line, and he's doing a good job. And it's up to Tander to try and find his way around. And he's looked for the outside in that second turn, but you can't do it there. It's impossible. He's going to have to go up the inside somewhere, possibly into the hairpin around after Corporate Hill. He might try there, but it's going to be hard.
Look at this. He's got headlights just filling the rear bumper of the Havilland Falcon. I think those headlights might be on high beam too. Look pretty intense.
They look like it, don't they?
So Garth Tander trying everything he knows to unsettle David Bernard, but Bernard equal to the task. He's got a queue of cars building up behind him here.
That was the part that Wayne said was about the only move.
No, he couldn't do that. It was well done and well guarded by David, and looks like he's going to hold his position all the way home, which is what it's all about.
I tell you what, these Stone Brothers guys are certainly getting used to blocking people and holding their racing line, aren't they? Because Marcus Ambrose did a superb job at Phillip Island, and now David Bernard is doing a great job here at Eastern Creek, just holding off Garth Tander from position number 7 and 8. Craig Lowndes comes down the inside rather, of Stephen Richards.
1 more lap to go. Can he do it? Craig Lowndes down the inside, everyone's standing, and Lowndes sneaks down the inside to Stephen Richards. Barely a cigarette paper between them.
That 00 Ford's got some straight line speed, very, very good straight line speed, just to pass one of the Perkins cars, and they're not slow. So they've done their homework on the engines.
Yeah, and they say there's more to come. I was talking to Alan Heafy, team manager, early on. He said, really, this season, these first 2 seasons have been about building up a stockpile of weaponry to be able to have enough to fall back on before you start going to phase 2 of the engine development program. So they've still got some more to come.
Mark, they all say that. Can I let you know that? Yeah. My team is saying the same, and so is HRT and everybody else. We've got more to come.
40, yeah, that's right.
It's a common answer to it.
Don't we know it?
Well, there is still a defining question hanging over this V8 Supercar Championship, and the question is, can they catch Mark Scaife? Well, once again, he's shown that the answer is no, especially here at Eastern Creek. He won the first 2 races in Adelaide. He won the second race at Phillip Island, and he starts round 3 here at Eastern Creek in Sydney with a race 1 victory. Mark Scaife collects 80 points as he goes across the line ahead of Marcus Ambrose in 2nd position. What a finish for John Faulkner, car number 46 in the Dynapack Commodore. 23rd. That's his highest finish in V8 Supercars. Fantastic stuff for the 45-year-old John Faulkner. Now the battle is still raging all the way down to the finish line. Bernard held off Tander and Lowndes in 9th position. Stephen Richards finishes in 10th as well.
So Mark Scaife looking at easy in the 20-minute sprint. Just took advantage of his pole position, got in front, was never headed. So now we can look forward to 2 150-kilometre races, including compulsory pit stop. And anyone knock off Mark Scaife?
The car wasn't too bad. Played with bars, ended it completely opposite to what we started with. Car was very good throughout, had enough adjustment for the distance we did. But we need to play with it for a longer race.
And the longer race, of course, is coming up. We've still got 2 races to finish off round 3. Here's how they finished race 1. Scaife, Ambrose and Faulkner. 1, 2 and 3. Greg Murphy moved up to 4th. Russell Ingall jumped 2 places to 5th. Stephen Ellery in 6th. Bernard and Tander had an almighty fight for 7th and 8th. And in position 9 and 10 was Craig Lowndes and Stephen Richards.
Todd Kelly and John Bow, Rick Kelly, Paul Radisich and Stephen Johnson, the 2 Shell Fords together there, and Glenn Seaton rounded out the top 16.
Remember, points are on offer for all those who finish. So Jason Richards in 17th. He walks away with about 18 points. Neil Crompton, Greg Ritter, Bradley Jones, Max Wilson, Tony Longhurst, Larry Perkins and Jason Barguana in that rebuilt Valvoline Cummings Commodore finished in 24th position. We'll take you all the way through the field. 25 was Paul Wheel, and the last man to finish was Rodney Forbes in position 29. Bright Wills and McConville didn't get to the finish line, but we've still got 2 more races to go here at Eastern Creek.